the Garden of Gethsemane. I'll say a few words inside. We passed on our way on the right, the Russian Church of Mary Magdalene with the golden onions, the Russian Orthodox Church of Mary Magdalene, and then we passed further up Dominus Flevi, the cry of the Lord to the right, and the Jewish cemetery. In the Jewish cemetery, you understand that the bodies are not put in the stone tombs, because Jews bury to the ground. So you bury it into the ground, and this is just a mark, a headstone on top of the grave itself. We'll go inside. I want to talk a little bit about.
This is the Church of the Garden of Gethsemane.
Are you going to get a video of this?
Yeah.
My kind of place.
Is that right? You can just drop me off here.
No, I don't know how the volume's going to be. I'm making recordings whenever I can, and I started late though.
Oh.
But still, I'll have some. And when I do get them together, what I'm going to do is put them on a like YouTube or a Vidler, and then you guys will be able to just go there and watch them.
There's close, then there's
John. There's close and there's John.
Close.
Come closer.
Have you hugged your tour guide today?
I have a photo with one of my groups, American groups, and I always told them about Israeli clothes. They came out of the Dead Sea, always all wet, and they came Israeli clothes. They came like hugging me, like telling me all wet. Okay, fine, nice drink. Anyway, a few words about olive trees. Remember how we said that olive trees, the branch actually lives for about 80 to 100 years, but then the branch renews from the root. And the only way to estimate if the tree is old or not is by the roots. Just give you an example. This tree here was planted in 1964 by the Pope. See the size of this tree? Now look at the size of this tree, look at the size of that tree, look at the size of that tree over there. And you understand that those are much older. Estimation could be 1,000 plus, 1,500 years, maybe close to 2,000 years. But the most important thing is, in the times of Jesus, when they said Gethsemane, they didn't mean this garden. They meant the entire site from Mount Olives. Because it's called Mount Olives because the whole area was olives. So this and the whole valley around was all olives. And in the olive place, there was a big industrial area called Gethsemane, which was the olive oil press of the area. And so the church, when it was built here, they fenced a small part and called it the Garden of Gethsemane. But in Jesus' time, it was just the area outside the Golden Gate, outside the walls of the old city, towards Mount Olive, which was the favorite place for Jesus because he kept coming back and forth from there. He spent time on Mount Olive, spent time in the Garden of Gethsemane, went to the city, came back to the Garden of Gethsemane, back and forth. This is the reason why this church was built, because tradition said this is where Jesus spent the last night before he was arrested. He went praying. He was bleeding blood. He told the disciples to fall, not to fall asleep, but stay up and pray. They kept falling asleep. He kept coming back and forth. On top of the rock, which tradition says this is where Jesus went to pray, they built the Garden of Gethsemane, or the Church of Agony, or the Church of All Nations. It's a Byzantine church, expanded in the Crusaders period and expanded again by the Franciscans, by Antonio Berluzzi, to be a very mysterious dark church that focuses your attention towards the rock where Jesus went to pray. A few more words inside. This church is called the Church of Agony, or the Church of All Nations, or the Church of Gethsemane. It's different names. Church of Gethsemane because of the location, Church of Agony because this is the place where Jesus was sad, Church of All Nations because you'll see when you go in, little domes. Each dome was dominated by a different nation. That's why it's called the Church of All Nations. The idea of the church, again, the center of the church, or the most important reason why the church was built here, is the rock close to the altar, where they said this is where Jesus went to pray the night before he was arrested. And as you know, as we said now, we can go on the chronology of Jesus. Jesus came to Jerusalem from Mount Olives. He looked at the city, he went into the city, he went back and forth to the Garden of Gethsemane. The last night before the Passover Eve, he went to the temple, brought the sacrifice, took the sacrifice back, went to the upper city, to Mount Zion, had the Last Supper with the disciples, came back here to spend the night outside of Jerusalem. This is where he was arrested by the Romans, by the slaves of the high priest and the Roman soldiers, taken back to Mount Zion, to the house of Caiaphas, the high priest, sentenced in front of the Sanhedrin in a very, very quick, illegal, unauthorized trial. Brought the next day to the Roman commissioner, sentenced to be crucified, taken to the crucifixion place on a Friday, crucified, died on the same day, and buried before the Sabbath started. That's the Good Friday. Count 3 days later, Easter Sunday, Jesus resurrected. When they came and saw the tomb was empty. 40 days he's been in the area of Galilee, showing up to the disciples in different areas. After 40 days, he arrives back to Mount Olives, to the top, in a sense, heaven. That's the route of Christianity. We'll talk about this tomorrow when we start doing the Via Dolorosa and talk a bit more about the crucifixion, the trial, and so on. Meanwhile, you can go and see the church. You will see the altar, the rock, the walls of the old church around the altar, and then the modern church, beautiful, that was built by Antonio Berluzzi and the Franciscans between 1920 and 1930.